everyone. My name is Thokozane. I'm from a company called Auditors. So we're going to take you through our presentation. So the first part of the presentation will be a video displaying our company, who we are, where we come from, and so forth. And then we have a second video about RTMS specifically. So on my left here is Zakele, who is my colleague, and on my right here is Matimba. So we will be jointly handling the presentation. So the areas that we will handle by myself, him, and him. So we're good to go. Let's go.
New Emo-commerce, moving the nations forward one troop at a time. New Emo-commerce is a game changer in the service delivery industry, as is displayed by the dynamic solutions offered by our organization. We specialize in three major areas, which are: 1. Haulage and transportation solutions, funded mainly by our delivery trucks and our state-of-the-art refrigerated trucks. 2. We are growing leaders in the materials handling. Our fleet is growing together with the demands and solutions offered to our clients. We pride ourselves in offering a complete all-round solution for movement, protection, and control of materials with products throughout the process of manufacturing, distribution, consumption, and disposal. 3. New Emo-commerce offers waste management and industrial cleaning to differing entities working in explosive zones, confined spaces such as silos, ducts, and underground tunnels. We provide a service tailor-made to the requirements of the customer. We have grown from strength to strength over the years, and with incredible partnerships with our clientele, we are on a trajectory that is keeping our wave on the rise. Let's partner together and change the framework of South Africa as we enrich each other in the service delivery aspects. New Emo-commerce, moving the nations forward one troop at a time.
Thank you. That was just our introduction, and allow me just to take the opportunity to also give thanks to Exaro. The other part where we put machines there is the lower one mine, where we can be working. We've been working with Exaro for the past 4-5 years, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you for the support, and thank you to say that you guys take our chambers very seriously. So yeah, basically the slide here just displays the infrastructure or the capacity that we have at the moment, transportation and material handling. So yeah, we do transport mainly using side tippers, and refrigerated trucks. So yeah, next slide. Yeah, so this is also a display of our refrigerated trucks that we use. So we run them nationwide, we don't do cross-border, but we move from Job to Kimberley, Devon, everywhere. So we move on fresh foods, frozen stuff, pharmaceuticals, yeah, everything that is actually carried using a truck. The slide here just explains our brief background, where does the company come from, what have we achieved so far. So on the top there it says that we employ more than 6 logistics professionals, which includes myself. I've got a degree in logistics. Zexi is an engineer by profession, Matima is an IT guy here. And then on this left-hand side here, it tells you what we do in a nutshell. So basically offer integrated logistics solution, meaning that if you ask us to do the material handling plus the haulage, that's what we mean by integrated material handling. On other clients, we have forklifts plus the trucks, the refrigerated trucks. So we do also the loading of the vehicles by ourselves. And then on the far right hand side there, it says that we're certified by BSI on which has 18001, ISO 9001, and ISO 14001, and RTMS. So as a result of us having embarked on RTMS, it also enabled us to achieve which was 18,000, ISO 14,000, and ISO 9,000, because the standards are more or less the same, except here and there where you just need to do specific adjustment. And then at the bottom there, you can see that we just mentioned a couple of our clients, which include amongst Exaro, Universal Coal, African Exploration, Denmark Coal, Thokozane, and so forth. Thank you. Okay, this video here
This is a new era of freight truck that was involved in an accident. This led us to rethink the way in which we managed our fleet. With the introduction of RTMS, Road Transport Management System, we realized the value addition to our complete solutions in both haulage fleet and the materials handling operations within the mining houses. Through RTMS, we managed to ensure optimum use of our machinery on the haulage side and on the loading end, as we have regulated overloading and in the underloading of materials. The continuous monitoring of our fleet has maintained a record previously unknown to new ins on the road. Since the implementation of RTMS, the Transport Management System, only one severe vehicle incident has been encountered. The RTMS is a safety game changer that has changed the game for new era commerce. New era commerce, moving the nations forward one trip at a time.
Thank you. So with that short video, what we were trying to communicate here was the point that we had one truck, then 2 months back, a reefer truck, a brand new truck, it was less than 6 months, got involved in a victim accident. So what happened there, after all the investigations that we conducted, including the insurance companies, we discovered that that incident itself, it was caused by the other truck that was actually coming, I don't know where it was coming from. We looked at the speed profile of the truck, the driver himself, his fatigue, everything was above board. So with RTMS, as much as we might be certified ourselves, but the other guys are not certified on the road, it becomes a challenge because it was a truck-on-truck accident. The guy was trying to beat a robot, the other guy. One other guy, he just left loading from the client, just 5 minutes away from the client. So he was having a right-of way. The other guy came through, he wanted to beat a robot, he bumped on top of him. The truck was finished. Although the insurance settled it, but yeah, it's one of the things that I'm glad that RTMS is pushing. It's self-regulation. However, all of us need to take responsibility. Because now the norm in the industry is that as long as I've got a truck moving material from A to B, put an invoice to the client, have money every month, I don't care. So those are the challenges that we are experiencing now with the industry. As much as we can invest a lot of money into systems, we've got brand new trucks, we try to make sure that maintenance is taken seriously. As much as we've got flaws and challenges within our own procedures and systems that we are not implementing fully, but it cannot be one-sided because you can do it 100%, but if the other parties are not playing their role, then you end up having a problem like that. Oh, this picture here, we just wanted to say thanks to KP. Having RTMS, I think Standard Bank has gained confidence as well. We are part of some industry structures now where we get invited to participate and learn from the best. This was part of the Logistics Achievers Award last week in Monte Cassino. So we learned very much. The big guys, they're doing wonderful things. So as a small company, we felt, this was worth it for us. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to have a way to have 400 trucks for you to start doing good things. You can have a fleet of 10, 20, 50 trucks and you can do wonders. So we're very thankful to Standard Bank for the support and the trust that you showed in us. Thank you. Yeah, so this was just a gesture to Katie to say thank you, Standard Bank. Okay, this one I'm going to give it to 6 here.
Okay, so this basically is a profile that shows our performance on speeding and also on managing fatigue. So there's basically a population of other haulers drivers or transporters, and also which is in gray, and also New Era Commerce, which is in blue. So our performance, for example, on speeding, the average risk for the RMS population is shown there in the middle, if you can see. And in green, we have been performing better. So there's been a lower risk. I mean, close to zero, so it means the risk on speeding is low for us. So we try to manage compliance, especially on roads where, on urban roads, because our trucks, we limit our drivers to drive at 80 on national roads. So now we need to be able to monitor the performance of our drivers on urban roads where the speed limit is 60. That's where there's been a challenge for us, because we need to be able to identify the roads where the speed limit. So basically, we've limited our drivers to drive at 60 when they are off national roads, until we are able to identify the roads where the speed limit is above 60, and then we can designate as such. So we're able to monitor remotely. We have a control room where it is a 24-hour shift operation. It is able to monitor the trucks nationally, and also respond in real time if there's any deviation from speed limiting. And also with regard to fatigue, managing fatigue, for example, we have shifts where drivers work, for example, and take breaks or take leave, for example, 4 days on and 4 days off, and others 7 days off. Yeah.
Okay, here it's it's one of the systems that we use. It's called Data Team. During our improvement, we realized that having to monitor such a number of employees is not easy. You need systems in place. So we invested a lot in systems like Data Team. Like this one here, it shows you that this driver's license is gonna expire, so we get alerts every day and we start preparing it on time. And then the next one just shows you the medical, the PDP, and then we also have the medicals and so forth. So here, with the help of RTMS, we've gone a route to say now we need our drivers to be competent. I believe a driver is a driver, but at the end of the day, we need the product knowledge. You can drive a Volvo, you can drive a man-made Tifa. So with our trucks, Volvo comes and takes the drivers, same as the MAN ones. So this is just a certificate. And then we take our maintenance serious. This is our vehicle road test worthiness. With this sheet, this is the one the mechanic uses when the vehicle comes to the workshop. So they check it according to that. They check the tires, they check the vehicle itself, they take the sign and the supervisor signs as well. Okay, this is our control room, how it looks. Well, there's still people, but on the picture not there. Okay, so this is the live monitoring that we use. As you can see, there's different colors. Gray means that the vehicle has stopped, green they're moving, red, well, there's no signal there. And there's a lot that we do from this live monitoring. If I can start mentioning, I'll take the whole day. Okay, this is the camera that we use inside our cab. We're not allowed to call our drivers on cell phones, but we use the camera to call them in and also to check how the driver behavior inside the cab. Okay, so this is how it looks inside and out. This is just a snapshot of the video. Or we can see what the driver is happening. We can see the neatness of the truck. We can see the outside activities. Okay.
Yeah, because also we need to monitor overloading and underloading, especially with regards to overloading. When we underload, basically it's our loss, because instead of 34 ton, we transport 33 ton or 32 ton. We lost an opportunity there to transport the 2 ton. But on overloading, basically there's a limit on the mass or the gross mass that the vehicle is allowed to transport on the road, 56 ton cross tonnage for a 34 ton side tipper. So, for example, as you can see, in March 2018, there was an overload of 12%, of 12 loads, which was 4.6%. And then in March 2019, if you compare, there was an overloading of 9 loads out of the 311 loads. which was 2.9%. So that was an improvement, and we fortunately where we load for the site tippers, there are weight bridges, so we're able to monitor the loading, and if the truck is overloaded, in some instances able to go back and reduce the loading. So here, anything above the 34 tons, so we are able to check if the truck is overloaded. So there's been a reduction in number of overloads, and also a reduction, although there was an increase in the number of underloads to 21 from 7.
As mentioned earlier, that as part of the journey on RTMS, we were also able to get ourselves certified on the standards that I mentioned on SHEP, which has 18,000, ISO 14,000, which is environmental and the quality standard. So that being part of RTMS was helpful to us, because the information, as I said, is more or less the same. Just only here and there we just need to do some additions. Yes, so this is one of the achievements that we can actually mention as part of the RTMS journey. Okay, I think Zakele did make mention of this, that we had a surveillance audit last month, which is September, for us to get recertified on RTMS. So this is what we have classified or identified as like the major findings that we need to deal with. Because in the main, we typically focus on the 80-kilometer travel speed, which is mainly on the freeways. However, on the urban roads, that's where there was lack of monitoring. We find that the speed kilometer is 60 kilometers on the guys at 65, and then we only pick that one up when we start receiving the traffic fines on the standard bank system. So that's where we realized that this is a huge area of concern, because we never paid attention. Because previously we used to be heavily on the side tippers. Now we've got the refrigerated trucks. They load, they go to a mall inside an urban area. So we have realized that we need to really work on that one, of which I think now we're trying to put systems in place to control that. So yeah, and also another area, as I said, we do a lot of long distances. So we have been exceeding, like sometimes the scheduled maintenance time frames. So you find that the trucks, they go over by 2,000 because it's somewhere in Western Cape, and the truck is loaded. You can't take it to maybe to the OEM to fix it there, because you've got an express load. The client says go and load it, and you can't stop. You've got something like ice cream or chocolate, it must be somewhere in Devon, and that will pile up around 2,000 kilometers. So, but we're trying to find a way that can assist us to manage that, so that we don't overrun the maintenance schedule. And then lastly, I think Oliver was mentioning in his closing there that if you are certified, you need to submit your quarterly reports. I think we've just picked up that we're looking there, so we need to be timers in terms of our submission, because at times we make a mistake and think, no, I've done it, and then we relax. So we just need to also improve there. It's one weakness that we've identified. Was RTMS, when we look at it, it's actually a journey. You don't do and say I've arrived at the destination. It's just a continuous improvement process that you need to understand from that point of view. So yeah, that's one area that we're weakened there, so we're going to improve going forward. Okay, this is the speeding. I'll give you too much in my ear.
Okay, as mentioned previously, well, our speeding was high. Like Thokozane said, we only concentrated on the highways, not on the national roads. But we picked up that even on the highways, the guys speed, and we do monitor, but we never actually looked into what the speed was. So we picked up on the previous report that okay, the guys will speed up to a speed of 100, which is ridiculously high. So now with the new improvements in place, the guys have reduced as well. We've tested using the same vehicle again, and then the speed limit has dropped now. So this is a continuous improvement, and we're gonna keep on doing time and time again. So with the service overruns, as it was mentioned before, these were the service overruns. Wherever you see red, that's service overrun that we had previously. But with the new plans in place, we're working forward to eliminate this and start on a clean sheet. Okay, there's one more giving back to
okay. As part of the RTMS surveillance audit, we identified areas of weakness. And then soon after that, we had to come up with corrective action and preventive action. So we have gone as far as saying we need to take RTMS seriously, and we thought you area ourselves because that function was shared across. So now we've decided that from next year we want to have a full-time RTMS manager because our fleet is growing. We're just adding I think 12 trucks from next month, and we can't take that lightly. 12 trucks on society bus, you put 2 drivers per truck. We've got close to 20 additional employees. So as a result, we decided to get a very experienced driver trainer. He's on board. He has started already. We just want to take this driver training very seriously because in transport we have seldom actually paid attention that the crux or the core of the business is the driver, is a truck driver. So now the approach is that we need to continue to train the drivers. We will rely on 6 months defensive training or a yearly defensive training that is offered through insurance. Yes, it was good, but we realized that the intensity of the course was not what we want. It's just a one-day course, quick certificate issued. So with this approach, the guy is internal, is full-time. Obviously, when the external guy comes in, is to validate what the internal guy is doing, if you are doing it correctly. So the guy is full-time now. You will be doing the drivers there's a schedule, so it's going to be a routine, so that we can start reducing the risk by overspeeding, making sure that the trucks are driven properly, because it's not worth it to go buy a brand new truck for 2.8 million rand and then say it's finished on the road. It's not worth it at all. So we're trying to correct that. So we hope that by this time next year, there should be massive improvement. We should be telling a different story to what we're telling now.
And also, with regards to services, so we can schedule now service intervals. For example, the service is due, let's say, at 160,000 kilometers. We can send the truck at 2,000 kilometers before the 160. So it has 58,000 kilometers. So now that's how we're trying to limit or prevent going overdue on the schedule for maintenance service with the OEM. And also, we are making an improvement in submitting the quarterly RTMS reports.
Again, now this is just to show you, it's just a sample, just to show that we do have a driver trainer. So the driver trainer, what he does is, he doesn't just do in-class training, he also goes on route and does their route assessment with the driver as well, so that the drivers can continuously improve time and time again. Okay, that's the end of the presentation.